Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action, and the game does look quite a bit better, although unfortunately it does seem that the sickly red hue has come back to quite a few of the maps, which is a little bit unfortunate. I thought that we had moved past this at this point in Total War Warhammer 2, but nevertheless it's back. This time I'm going to be taking the Greenskins up against the Warriors of Chaos, so let's get to it. We've got GRIMGOR Ironhide here, of course, leading the way. He's immune to psychology, pretty good AP, and relatively tanky, so I decided to take him. He's got two Black Orcs supporting, some Orc Air Boys with the Rusty Airs, then we've got some Goblins, Nasty Skulkers, Warlords Boys, more Skulkers with AP Loonies, and a line of regular Goblins up front with some Chevrons. Nasty Skulkers also have Chevrons. We've got good old ZAPPY boy here, the Night Goblin Shaman with just Vindictive Glare, Sneaky Stealin', and the Wand of Jet. And over here we've got a light cavalry force of some Goblin Spider Rider Archers and the Mangy Marauders. Got some Chaos Knights with Lances here. The Chaos forces are going to be led by a Lord up on a Dragon. Got a front line of Marauders, a couple of gold chevron armored Chaos Trolls, which is not something you see every day. We should see how they do. Chosen with great weapons and a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Shadows. You can see GRIMGOR's wall already popping off. The Goblins and everything going to be charging in the front line here, and the DACA squad opening up shots. We're going to try and focus fire in just a moment here on the Trolls, obviously. But overall, frontline engagement is going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Unfortunately, the two Night Goblin units both just got sacrificed straight into Chosen with great weapons, which is definitely not the best. But the Chaos Knights with Lances also pushing up and around. I just about missed the smoke bomb, but do manage to get it off at the last second. They're slowing them down. We are focus firing on the Trolls in the front line, but not doing the most damage in the world. Chosen did quite well, but the Marauders all just got wrecked completely, even just by Goblins. You can see how cost effectively these Goblins traded with the Wa. They just wrecked those Marauders, basically one-on-one. Meanwhile, the Dragon's going to dive into the front line, but because I have such a wide DACA line, I actually have 4 units of Orc Air Boys. He's going to try and countercharge on different units, but he's just going to get crossfired no matter what. That being said, the Chaos Knights are going to go ahead and collapse the flank here. The bounce power has already shifted, though, pretty heavily in the Greenskins' favor with the loss of all the Marauders in the front line and all the damage being done to this Chaos Lord as well. And one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of the Chaos Dragons, they are very big targets. Dragons in general have massive hitboxes, very easy to hit with missiles. That being said, Orc Air Boys are getting compromised by Chaos Trolls, so not the worst at the end of the day. GRIMGOR is still perfectly healthy, but the Orc Air Boys mostly been shut down at this point. Night Goblin Shaman still online as well. Looks like the Sorcerer is going to come after him. This is definitely a very good choice here. The Night Goblin Shaman extremely squishy, and the Chaos Sorcerer for Chaos, obviously, one of the best casters in the game in terms of melee stats. Pretty good melee stats, 90 armor. Of course, they can take a couple different horse loadouts, but GRIMGOR are going to get in here and provide some protection to the poor Gobbo, and he'll wreck this Chaos Sorcerer, despite the fact he's pretty decent in combat, and obviously GRIMGOR is an actual monster. So yeah, didn't even make contact on that hit. Come on, GRIMGOR, you have 70 melee attack. You should be able to hit this guy. There we go. Gets a solid hit in there. Night Gobbo Shaman's going to pull back and go ahead and pop another shot onto that Chaos Lord there. Getting pretty low on HP though, so even like one hit from this Sorcerer could potentially finish him off, but that Vindictive Glare was actually enough to rout off the Chaos Lord, and Gobbo manages to stabilize. That's what I'm looking for, his leadership there. Black Orcs continuing to slug it out with Chosen with great weapons. Chosen with great weapons would win this one-on-one, but because there's Goblins in here providing poison, these unbreakable AP Loonies fighting to the end, still providing the poison despite how low they are. Going to be doing a great job helping to drag down these Chosen here. GRIMGOR is also going to come support. Meanwhile, over here, these Skulkers and Black Orcs have bogged down the Trolls so that the regrouping Air Boys and other units can provide some Overwatch fire. The Trolls will actually do pretty well. They have massive weapon strength, and with the Chevrons, they actually have pretty good combat stats, and the leadership still struggles quite a bit, though, unfortunately. And you can see the Chaos Knights with Lances ping-ponging around, trying to clean up routing units here, but there's only the one unit, and there's so many routing units for my Greenskin force here that they're not able to shut down everything at the same time, and you can see the crossfire is pretty real, able to rout off those Chaos Trolls. The Knights are now going to go after the Black Orcs, which is a pretty good target. Honestly, if the Chosen hadn't given out here, Chaos might have been able to take a little bit more, well, less terrible loss, I guess. I don't know. It actually wasn't that bad, as bad as it looked, certainly. You can see here, Chaos Knights with Lances cleaning up 200 kills, basically mopped up that entire backline. Unfortunately, we were able to, fortunately for myself, you might say, we were able to rally some of those air boys in the late game to rout off those trolls. Although this unit of trolls, 130 kills, pretty serious stuff. 118 for these Chosen, 150 here. But the loss of the Marauders, you can see they just got canned by Goblins, which is pretty embarrassing at the end of the day. I mean, granted, Goblins with a few chevrons, you know, with the wah and everything, definitely can get a lot of work done, but Skulkers providing the smoke bombs, despite the fact a couple of them got run over pretty hard, did manage to get some good work done. This Black Orc, only 42 kills, but did manage to get an XP chevron. They were slugging it out with Chosen most of the time, so I believe these guys actually mostly single-handedly beat down this other unit of Chosen. So the Mangy Marauders and the Spider Riders weren't really used a whole lot. They mostly just got used in the late game there to chase off some routing troops, but that in and of itself is relatively cost-effective, keeping the Chaos player from being able to rally, and ultimately just the major numbers advantage I had in this particular battle, ultimately I think is what decided it. The Chaos Forces just taking a few too many elite choices. Personally, I mean, the Chaos Troll is a bit of a meme pick. They can do pretty well, honestly, but trying to go this heavy in a headlong rush into the Greenskins is probably not the best idea. Let's go ahead and take a look at the price on these Chaos Trolls, and maybe we can come up with some different units that you might take in that particular slot. Other than that, that army was pretty solid. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the Dragon. Actually, with Vindictive Glare being so good, Big Bird's going to become even better in this matchup, just because, if I'm not mistaken, missile resistance does apply to magic missiles, and of course he has magic resistance as well, so yeah, both of these would stack, and you'd get a total of 85% resistance against that attack. So Sarthrel, of course, he can also take Final Transmutation, which is pretty good for Lord Sniping Greenskins. So something like this, or one Final Transmutation would probably finish off the Gobbo Shaman. I'm not 100% sure. He might have to overcast it, but the two Chosen with Grey Weapons, pretty solid. Personally, I'm a little bit bigger fan of the regular Chosen, especially if you're going to be bringing Sarthrel. You can also pop a quick Plague of Rust to bring down a specific high-value target. Greenskins generally don't have that many high armor units. You know, GRIMGOR, Black Orcs, and, you know, your Ragnarok Queen, really going to be Ragnarok Spider, rather, the Queen included, of course, but yeah, those are really going to be the only high armor units you have to worry about for the most part, so really you don't necessarily need the AP of the Great Weapons, so I'm going to cheap out a little bit and go with the Sword and Board Chosen. They have better melee defense and they are a bit cheaper. And then we're going to try and contest the mobility game a little bit with some Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. Maybe we take some regular Marauder Horsemen as well, just again to pad out the numbers a little bit. Pharaoh Manticore is actually not a bad pick at all in this matchup. Greenskins generally weak to terror. This guy can go disrupt a missile line and, you know, provide a quick terror bomb in a key situation. If they have somebody like Azag up in the air, he can fly around and harass them. So something like that, I think, might be pretty solid, and obviously we're not going to bring the Shadowcaster because we've got Sarthrel. Some Monstrous Infantry might not be a bad idea. The Weird Spawn actually probably going to be pretty good here. Again, if they have like a unit of Black Orcs, a couple of high-value, high-armor units, you can stick these guys on them with some Chosen, and they'll help those Chosen perform even better because of that armor sundering. They're also unbreakable, so I might even take a second unit of Chaos Spawn. Just, again, because they're unbreakable, they can help saturate and stabilize the front line if the Marauders don't hold up too well. You kind of have to take some Marauders just because you need some kind of numbers here, otherwise you're just going to get overwhelmed, like in that last battle. But we could potentially even just cut down these throwing axes here, to finish things out. Just bring the regular Horsemen, and we'll grab the Mirror Guard as well, just, again, for another decent defensive unit. Something like this, I think, might be pretty solid against the Greenskins. Again, you're going to be pretty vulnerable to getting outbodied, just, you know, having the Greenskins just bring more numbers than what you can handle. Something like this, though, I think might be pretty solid. The Chaos Knights with Lances honestly did pretty well in that last matchup, so you might fine-tune this build a little bit to see if you could squeeze them in, but Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What kind of builds do you like to take in this matchup? It's definitely a pretty dynamic matchup despite the fact that it's, you know, two rush factions. Greenskins, I would argue, have a lot more nuance to them, whereas Warriors of Chaos are more of a pure rush faction, although they definitely do have some nuance as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.